Hello and welcome to my video on the falling and lifting of the fingers of the left hand. This video was also inspired by a subscriber and I'm very grateful for that, thanks, because I'm very happy for any inspiration I get to make videos, and I'll never think of everything one needs on the violin because the subject is just too great. So go ahead and inspire me, give me ideas for videos, I like that a lot. I need to start off with what I regard as the most important thing regarding the fingers of the left hand, and that is, do not press the string down all the way to the fingerboard. It's not necessary. It only brings disadvantages. There are exceptions to that and I'll go into it, but the most important thing which I learned regarding playing with the fingers of the left hand was not to press the strings down all the way to the fingerboard. And in high positions where the strings are further away from the fingerboard, it becomes particularly important because it just gets too strenuous and it doesn't sound any better if you press the strings down all the way. But even in lower positions where the string is closer to the fingerboard, it's not necessary. I'll give you an example. You won't be able to see the difference because we're talking micromillimeters here. But for instance, if I play in first position, pressing the string down all the way, or not pressing the string down all the way, I don't know if my microphone picks this up, but it actually sounds better. You get more resonance if you don't press the string down all the way. You should always be able to feel the vibrations of the string in your fingertips. So the finger which is on the string playing at that moment has to be able to feel the vibrations of the strings still. And I notice when I practice, whenever I remember this, I immediately play better because the fingers are not as tense, it's not as strenuous for the left hand, and I get more resonance. The exception to this rule is when you're playing pizzicato. If you're playing pizzicato, there's two reasons why you have to basically press down the string into the fingerboard with all your strength. The one reason is to stop the strings from becoming out of tune by plucking them. If I pluck loud, then I'll basically be pulling the string down, it'll be too flat afterwards. So my finger has to actually hold the string, particularly in chords. One has to really hold the string with one's fingers. That makes it very, very strenuous because you do have to press the strings down all the way. Plus, it sounds better if you're plucking. If you don't press the strings down all the way, versus pressing them down all the way, you actually get more resonance that way. So that's the exception to this rule. But as soon as you play with the bow, make sure you feel the vibrations of the strings in your fingertips and do not press the strings down all the way to the fingerboard. It's very important for the fingers of the left hand to be very loose and relaxed when playing, because only that way can they move fast. And you need your fingers to move fast, not just for fast passages, but also for fast correction, for intonation. So the fingers being very relaxed while you play is also one of the most important things in violin technique. It helps to imagine that the fingers fall onto the string and come back up on their own. And a good exercise to learn this is the percussion exercise. That's basically an exercise where you basically get this percussion sound on the fingerboard. But the most important thing there is you don't get that particular percussion sound by pressing hard. You get that by the finger falling onto the string with speed. It is the speed that the finger falls onto the string with which gives that particular percussion sound, not the strength with which you press down the string. And you will notice if you try to press hard, you won't get the percussion sound. You only get it if you're completely relaxed. So the exercise goes as follows. Start off using the bow, but later on do it without the bow. I do it without the bow, but I'll play it with the bow so that you know which notes to play. Basically, what you do is each note you play, you drop the finger onto the fingerboard with the goal of getting that percussion sound. And you keep moving up the fingerboard that way. I think I've made a video on this exercise once already years ago. I think it was called Silent Warm-Up Exercise. I'll put the link in the description because I go into the exercise, I think, a bit more detailed. Here I want to talk about how the fingers actually do it. So play that exercise with the bow, play it in low positions, in high positions, on all strings, and then do it without the bow, because then you really can concentrate on the percussion sound. It doesn't always come off because one doesn't always let the finger fall well enough to get that percussion sound. So you can do it without the bow as well. Hope my microphone picks it up. And that's a very good warm-up exercise, and it also really brings the point home that it only works out when you're relaxed. You can't do it when you're not relaxed, because then your finger doesn't fall fast enough onto the string and you won't get the percussion sound. A couple of added tips for the fingers of the left hand. You want your fingers of your left hand to stay comparatively close to the string and not move further away than necessary normally, particularly in fast passages. And what helped me learn to do that very much was a lot of double stop practicing, because that way you always have at least two fingers on the string. So by practicing things like thirds, particularly thirds, but all double stops, but particularly thirds, where you have the third and fourth finger on the lowest string, that helped me a lot, keeping my hand and my fingers close to the string, which then helped me play fast because my fingers weren't so far away from the string. Another thing which is very helpful is to know that when you place your fingers on the string, to place them slightly to the left of the string from the player's point of view. That's important for sound production and vibrato development. And I'll get back to it again. Remember not to press the string down all the way onto the fingerboard. Feel the vibrations of the string in your fingertip. I hope you find this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and subscribe to my channel for more videos on violin and bow technique, and happy practicing.